Hey guys, Sean here. This is going to be a video all about M4 hop-up units. Basically the anatomy, disassembly, how to work on them, change buckings, nubs, barrels, etc. The difference between a rear wheel hop-up like the Pro Win and the Mad Bull, or side wheel hop-ups like my SHS/PPS, the stock VFC one, and this Modify one. I'll tell you some things about good and bad hop-up units. But yeah, let's get into it. First we're going to do some anatomy. I chose to do it on this VFC one because it's clear and you can see what's going on. First of all, your air nozzle goes into the back of the hop-up unit here, and when it's inserted into there, it connects with the lips of the bucking, which are in here, which completes the air seal, and then the gun shoots, and that's really how your BBs feed and shoot. Your magazine attaches down here. The hole where the BBs are in your magazine attaches here, and the BBs feed up into here. And every time your nozzle moves back and forth, it feeds another BB. Also, how to adjust your hop-up is usually turning this wheel on the side. Forward will give you more hop, and backwards will give you less, or you can turn it all the way off. And how it works is when you turn it forward, it presses this, and as you can see on this piece inside here, that's the hop-up arm, and it holds the hop-up nub. What the nub does is it presses on the bucking, which is this black piece, this black sleeve that goes around the barrel. It presses on the bucking, and there's also a square hole cut in your barrel right here. So when it presses on it, it protrudes inside of the barrel. Let's see if I can get a shot of that. Maybe not. Yep, there we go. And that's what happens when you turn your hop-up on, is that'll protrude into there, and depending on how much hop-up you give it, it'll protrude more or less. And that basically gives backspin on the BB, and that backspin gives it its hop. And you don't necessarily want your gun shooting upwards with hop-up, or when you tune your hop-up, you don't want it curving up. You want it shooting straight and as far as it can shoot. Also, your hop-up unit will have a spring here. This one's kind of messed up. It should look like this. And that presses on the inside of your receiver, pressing the hop-up unit up against your gearbox shell, giving it the best air seal. Alright, now to take apart hop-up unit, you need a small screwdriver. You're gonna take out this screw right here, and then this wheel will come off. Next, you will want to take off the middle wheel, which I'm going to do with this pick. And there's also these little circular clips on here that always make it a pain. They look like that. And there's usually one of those clips on this too, but I took it off because they're always a pain. So there's your first two wheels, and then next you'll take off the clip that's on here, which I have already done, and press out this wheel. This is the wheel that actually has the little gear type thing on it that connects with this shape here and adjusts your hop-up arm. Okay. Now if you were to change your nub, you'd just pull this out the top, take your nub out, put whatever new nub you have, and place it in. Sometimes you have to glue them in because sometimes they don't want to stay, or a little bit of grease will help it stick if you don't want to glue it in. And then that goes back down in there. Make sure your spring is on there because that's what gives it its up and down. Like if you turn your hop-up off, you don't want it to stay down, you want it to spring back up. Okay, next, when you remove your barrel or bucking, you want to either disassemble it like this, but you don't have to. At least you want it turned all the way down. You don't want your hop-up turned on because it can tear your bucking or your nub if it's pressed in there and you try to pull the barrel out. So you don't want it to do that. So leave it all the way turned off or disassembled like this. Take something like a small pick or a small flathead, take the C-clamp off. Your barrel will wiggle now and you can slide it right out. Now the hop-up unit is removed, so if you were changing your bucking, you'd slide it off. I like to take a little bit of thicker silicone lubricant. This is Super Lube from clandestineairsoft.com, and put a little bit, not a whole lot, just maybe get some on your fingers and dab it around here. Try not to get it inside the barrel, but just get it around where the bucking is going to be on. I'll show you that right now. Just get a little bit on your finger and place it around. Don't get it inside there. And then to put a bucking back on, there will be a ridge on the inside. Not sure if you can see it. There we go. You can see that ridge up in the top there. That lines up with this groove right here on your barrel, and that will slide on place. Also, most buckings have a small bumper on the inside. It's kind of just an oval shaped mound or hill inside the bucking, which you can also get split buckings. You can't really see the mound. But you can also get split buckings or V-notch buckings where that mound has a cut in the shape of a V in the middle, which centers the BB better, gives you better accuracy. You can also do R-hop mods, flat hop mods, which is where you completely cut it off and you cut the ridge off, you turn it to the side so protruding into your window is a completely smooth flat area, and you put a flat hop nub in it. There's a lot of different hop-up mods you can do. The best is R-hopping. Second best I'd say is flat hopping. Third best is something like probably the V-notch bucking or firefly bucking. And then the bottom is probably just your standard bucking. But you can get good accuracy with a standard bucking. But anyway, line these two up, the two grooves up, slip it on, look inside, make sure you know, nothing's wrong. Make sure it's all lined up right. Take a little bit more lubricant, put it on your finger, and spread that around the outside of the bucking. Once again, don't get it up in here in your barrel. You can put some on the lips of the bucking, just a little bit, get the excess off, but you don't want it on the inside. Do not get it on the inside of the barrel. And then the way I always remember which way this goes is I either press around on it and I find the soft spot where the window in the barrel is, the cut, and that will go towards the top of the hop-up unit, or I look at this line and line it up with the bottom of the hop-up unit. And often on many hop-up units there's a seam, so I line it up with that seam on the bottom. Go right into place. And you'll put your clamp back on. And your hop-up unit should not have a lot of movement. There's ways to tune it where it has no movement at all. Teflon tape, stuff like that, O-rings. You can also shim the hop-up arm left and right to give yourself better accuracy. But this one's pretty well shimmed. Basically, shimming your hop-up arm would be getting it centered as far as as far as left and right in between. This one doesn't look like it has any space, but what you can do is you can put small shims on the bar that holds the hop-up arm in, and you can get it perfectly centered so it has a perfectly centered pressure on your hop-up bucking when it presses into it. Okay, so to put it back together, it's just as easy. You put the adjustment wheel in place, make sure it snaps through. Next you put this wheel. There's a bump on this side of the wheel, and then it dips in or is flat on the other side. You want the bump facing down. And then next you'll put on this wheel and your screw. Alright, and then don't forget to put your little clamps, I call them pain in the ass clamps, back on to hold your wheels and these pegs in place. I lost this one. I don't know where I put it, but it'll stay in place because this gear here also holds this one in place. But now, you know, then test it, make sure it's working right. And you don't want your wheel too easy to turn, because you don't want it being in there and then BB's hitting it and slowly moving it back up. Then you'd be losing your hop-up tune and your accuracy. Okay, next. Modify hop-up unit. This is an awesome hop-up unit. I really like it. I had to shave down the rails here for it to fit in my VFC body. But instead of those little pain in the ass clamps, it uses small O-rings, so they're easier to take off and easier to put on. They also hold it better too, and they don't deform like the thin metal does. This is a really nice hop-up unit. I've used it for a long time in different guns, different setups. and it always keeps its tune. That's due to, instead of having that angle-shaped tuning thing, or tuning piece on the arm, it has actual gears on the inside that mesh together. Another cool thing about this hop-up unit is it comes with sorry for the interruption. Anyway, another cool thing about this hop-up unit is it comes with a second hop-up arm that has a built-in nub, and then it also has one where you can put your own nub in it. So 3 cool things about this hop-up unit is the O-rings, the tuning of it on the inside where it has gears instead of just the shaped piece, and comes with 2 hop-up arms for you. I highly suggest this hop-up unit. It's a nice one. Next is the SHS/PPS. It's fully CNC machined. It has an O-ring to stabilize it, help stabilize it up against your mag, and an O-ring on the back to give the best air seal against your gearbox shell. Also, I cut my rails down a little bit. I didn't have to, but I did. A unique thing about this is it has an 8-shaped nub, where it's basically 2 nubs back to back, and you can swap them back and forth. One is a hard nub and one is a soft nub, and which also makes it so the nubs lock into place in the hop-up arm, so you don't have to worry about gluing them or any of that. And I will post a picture of that because I'm not going to take this apart right now. But I'll take a picture of that and put it on this video. I highly suggest this hop-up unit. It's very precise. I like it a lot. I have this flat hopped right now, and I will try to show you what that looks like right here. See how it's flat? It's got a little bit of a curvature to curve around the BB, but instead of a mound, it's concave to the shape of the BB. Gives a lot better accuracy. It's also longer. But yeah, next is the Pro Win hop-up unit. This is completely CNC machined. It's a bit different. Instead of having wheels on the side, it has a single wheel on the back that adjusts the arm. And this has a very short arm also. So how you take this apart is there's this little circular clamp on the back. All you do is remove that, and then the wheel will pull straight off, and then there's only one peg going through for the hop-up arm. So that has a lot easier disassembly. Pro and hop-up units are the best rear wheel hop-up unit you can get. I like them a lot. They're very precise. They keep their accuracy. They're really nice. They're easy to disassemble, easy to work on. I've never had fitment issues. I highly suggest this one as well. And then we get to this. This, as you guys have all probably seen and wanted one, don't want one anymore. It's the Mad Bull Ultimate hop-up unit, and it sucks. It sucks because they have lots of fitment issues, they have lots of accuracy issues, they have fitment issues in guns, they have fitment issues with nubs, with buckings. They're inaccurate, they are crappily molded, they're not machined, they're molded. And there's nice molded hop-up units like the Modify one and the Lonex one, but this one is done very crappily, and it has virtually no air seal with many buckings. There are a few buckings that seal with it, but it's basically junk. I've had more problems with these, with customers coming to me, with friends coming to me. I've never bought one because I never liked them from the start, but I'm not trying to like hate on Mad Bull. They make other cool stuff, but don't buy this unless you're willing to work around lots of problems. It's doable, but it's not worth it to me, especially being almost $50 for this. Cool things about it: it has an O-ring around the back, just like the SHS PPS hop-up unit. It has an O-ring around the bottom. This one has a little notch cut on the inside where the O-ring protrudes into the hop-up unit and holds your BBs in place so you don't have BBs falling out when you take your mag out. So that's pretty cool. Also, they make a tracer unit piece where it's a little light that hooks up onto there and takes a small battery, so you don't have to have a tracer unit on the end of your barrel. That's pretty cool. It disassembles basically the same way as the Pro Win, except for it just pulls off and an O-ring holds it on. So as soon as that O-ring wears out, that's gonna not be too good because this will just fall off. Where the Pro Win has that circular C-clamp or whatever that holds it on. This just pulls right off, and when this O-ring wears out, it'll just start falling off and not keeping its tune, and yeah. So I suggest Pro Win, I suggest Modify, I suggest SHS PPS, I suggest the Lonex, which I don't have with me right now. I don't suggest these though. They have some cool features, but there's other things that just make it not work out. But that's all about M4 hop-up units. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment, rate, subscribe. Sorry for how long this video took, but yeah. Have a nice day, guys.